Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today let's go over a hard question that I just solved on my own. So I'm really excited about this because I did it without any assistance. And although it's not the most efficient again, I did struggle through this and ended up solving it on my own. So I'm really happy about this. Again, I will go ahead and show you what I did. I just basically did a brute force approach after a lot of trial and error. But nevertheless, it's a good learning experience. So basically, you're given a data stream input of non-negative intervals, and you want to summarize them into disjoint intervals. It's easier for me to just look at the picture, basically. So you're given 1 and 1, 1, 1, 1, 3, 3. So basically, if you notice this, as long as there's one extra, include it in the range. Otherwise, end the range and start a new range, right? So 1, 2, 3, that's one range because plus 1, plus 1, plus 1's not there. So end the range. Plus 1's there, 8's not there, end the range. So it's actually pretty straightforward once you observe the patterns. So let's create a sorted list to basically just add all the values. So self.sl.add value, and then let's just print self.sl. And let's just do this for now. So again, what we're going to want to do is, as long as there's one extra, like plus 1 is in there, then we can keep expanding the range. Otherwise, we end the range and start a new list. So let's go for is in enumerate self.sl. We're going to do this for each element in the list. Let's call this start is going to be, so the easiest way actually I came up with is just to do a line sweep. So create a zeros list of length 8 and then update the indexes, right? So 1, I'll show you, so equals to self.sl -1, the biggest. So let's call this now is going to be 0 times biggest plus 1. So we're just going to keep track of the ranges, right? So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 as indexes. That's why we did the plus 1. So cool. Now we can basically just do what we need to do. So just go over SL, self.sl, and then as long as we, so if, so for each element in here, we're just going to set now of I to 1, right? And let's print now because each one of those counts. So for example, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I don't know why 7's not in there. Zero, 1, 2, 3. Maybe not having plus 1 would help. So we want 1, 2, 3 highlighted. So it is plus 1. Okay, so now if I is equal to 1. Oh, sorry, now if S, because the value is actually the index here, right? So again, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that's the value in here as the index in here, 3, for example, right? Okay, cool. So now we have what we need. And now we can just generate an answer that we're going to return. So if self.sl even exists, then we're going to go through this pain. Otherwise, we just return nothing, right? So that's a little edge case, but now we have this. We can just say for I in range length now, iterate over that. And the start, so the start of the range is if we see 1, which means there's actually one element covering that index, right? So if now if I is equal to 1, then the start is I and the end is I at the very least, right? Because again, if we only have a range of 1, because there's no 2 here, then it's going to start and end at index 1, start and end at index 3, right? So for j and range I, because starting and ending in the same position, up to length of now. So what we're going to say is we're going to scan through the end and we're going to say if So 1, 2, 3. So if now of j is equal to 1, then we're still good, right? We can keep continuing. As soon as we see a 0, then we break this because that's the end of it. The 0 is the breakage point. It's like a bridge that we can't cross. So if now if j is still equal to 1, then n is max of n and j. Otherwise, we break it and we have to set a flag, right? Because if the flag is true, then we print start and end. Because if we didn't see a 0, then it's a different story. So hold on, let's see. Let's see, start and end. 0, 1, 2, 3. So flag is false. Oh. We might need that there. You're still only getting the biggest one. So this is, yeah, it's supposed to be here. If now if j is still equal to 1, then we set that to the maximum. As long as we don't see a 0 while scanning right, then we're still good. We can update end. Print start and end. So 1133 end in j. So 1 and 3, right? Let's try to, let's just do this. Cool, 1133, 11337. This is the bridge that I'm talking about. We don't care about 2. So instead of doing this, why don't we just start I at 0? Because for example, we already made progress until 3, so we don't need to continue from 2 again. So while I is less than length of now, we're just going to say this. And if it's not now, then obviously we're still going to have to increment I. For example, for here, this is 0, so we still got to make progress. Actually, we have to try 0, 1, 2 now, right? Or in this case, like this 0. So if that's not the case, then I equals to max of end and I plus 1. So if flag is true, print start and end, because again, we still have to move at the very least to the end. If we're not, if we already covered like 3, for example, we don't have to try 2, but if we didn't cover 3, if there's a breakage, we still have to try 3. Okay, let's see. Oh, sorry, n plus 1. Otherwise, we have to at least increment I. What is going on with this? I in length of now. Yeah, it's j. So I always plus equal to 1. Okay, so yeah, we're still not getting the 1 and the 3s. One, 1, 3, 3. Okay, cool. We don't need this flag actually, because just because we see a 0 doesn't mean we don't include that. It's still the same number as the start and the end, right? Start and the end, start and the end. And then again, we have to jump if we didn't already cover that. Again, we never go backwards basically. As soon as we see a 1 up to this point, we never have to try j as 0 again. We just go forward at the very least. So that makes our life easier because now we can just append start and end. And then at the very end, once we covered all the intervals, return answer, right? So submit. And there you go, passes all test cases. Again, this is not the most efficient solution, but I did come up with this on my own. So I'm really proud of this. And as a hard question, this doesn't happen much. So yep, that's it for this video. Thank you for watching and stay tuned for more.